Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It is Sunday, May 18th, 2025, and on Sundays we talk about purpose and meaning of life. And so today I thought I'd have a little bit of a lighthearted approach, shall we say, especially after yesterday's grandiose announcement of what I'm planning. But in particular, I thought we'd talk about the instructions for life. And I'm sure many of you have seen these before or read these. I've seen a couple of different versions, and so I'm not going to claim any originality in this regard, but I want to share with you then some of the brief instructions for life. Again, maybe you got these as an email attachment at some point along the way, or somebody would have sent this in an email or communicated it to you in another way, but these are the instructions for life. And I've seen a couple of different versions, so I've combined them into one generalized set. And of course, these are not all the instructions of life. There are a lot of good ones here. So let's get started, shall we? So here are the instructions. And we can come back to this from time to time if you just want reminders. But show up on time and talk to people kindly, hopefully. Do a little bit more than you're asked to do, and always with a sense of good spirits and cheerfulness. Memorize your favorite poem. Mine goes all the way back to Robert Frost's "Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay." I've made a conscious effort to memorize some of my favorite poetry over the years, so I definitely want to recommend that one to you as well. Don't believe all that you hear. Spend all that you have, or sleep all that you want. When you say, "I love you," mean it. Say, "I love you" more often, and even and especially to those who might not expect it. Believe in love at first sight, but be engaged at least 6 months before you decide to move in or to get married together. Never laugh at anyone's dreams, or your own for that matter. Never stop dreaming. And if you will, dream the impossible dream. Love deeply and passionately without worrying about the consequences, come what may. In disagreements, fight fairly with no name calling. And in disagreements with loved ones especially, deal with the current situation. Don't bring up the past. Sometimes, stop yourself in the middle of a disagreement and acknowledge you're off base. You ever do that? Just stop and say, "You know what? I might be wrong about this. Maybe you've got a point here." Don't be embarrassed to do that. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to say, "I'm sorry." Underutilized phrase, I think. I'm sorry. And of course, mean it. And say it while you're looking into the other person's eyes. When you realize you've made a mistake, then take the necessary steps to correct that mistake. It's okay. We all do it. We all make mistakes. Own up to it and do what you can to correct the mistake. Don't judge people by their relatives. Talk slowly, but think quickly. When someone asks you a question you don't want to answer, smile and ask, "Well, why do you want to know?" Remember that great love and great achievements always involve great risk. Call your mom and or your dad or other loved ones regularly. And not text, not email. Call them. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. Remember the 3 R's: respect for self, respect for others, and responsibility for your actions. Don't let a little dispute injure or destroy an otherwise perfectly good or even great friendship. Smile when you're picking up the phone. Others will almost immediately or almost always hear it in your voice. Marry someone that you love to talk to. And then as you get older, then their conversational skills will be more important than ever. And you'll appreciate them that much more. Spend some time alone each day, in thought, in prayer, and just for the purpose of being with yourself. Open your arms to change, but don't let go of your values. Remember that silence is sometimes the very best answer. Read more books, but especially those that you can hold in your hands. And oftentimes, be careful to read between the lines. Live a good and honorable life. And then as you get older and you think back, you'll be able to enjoy those experiences a second time and a third time, and so on. Trust in God, but lock your car. Always do whatever you can to create as loving and as tranquil an environment as in your home as possible. Share your knowledge, your wisdom, and that is one way in which you achieve immortality. Be gentle with the earth. Spend some time in prayer each day. Whether you believe in God or not, or whatever you believe in, prayer is always available and can take many forms. This one's an old one and an obvious one, but to the extent that you can, and it's appropriate, mind your own business. But of course, speak up when it's absolutely essential. Once a year, go someplace that you've never gone before. Try something new that you've never tried before. Never interrupt someone or anyone if they're flattering you. If you make a lot of money, put it to use helping others to the extent that you can, or as best you can. That's always wealth's greatest satisfaction. Remember that not getting exactly what you want is sometimes an incredible stroke of luck. Learn the rules and then break some on occasion. Remember that the best relationship is the one where your love for each other is greater than your need for each other. Judge your success by what you've had to give up in order to achieve it. And remember that your character is ultimately your destiny. That said, approach love and cooking with reckless abandon. Never go shopping when hungry, and decide what you want to buy before you go shopping. Be careful with what you wish for, because sometimes in life we might get exactly that. The more stuff you own, the more it owns you. And remember, there's a whole class of people out there who are incredibly good at convincing us to make bad decisions, or ones that serve their interest rather than our own. Buy or make quality, and then take good care of what you've bought or created, and that will serve you well indefinitely. The bitter taste of poor quality lingers long after the sweet taste of the low price is forgotten. There's nothing that beats having just the right tool to do the job properly. Remember that God sometimes has a strange sense of humor. History is often the best predictor of the future. Since you know you're going to die eventually, why kill yourself and miss out on some possibly fascinating and wonderful experiences? Spend some time each day remembering why you're grateful to be here. Choose to live your life with grace and dignity, even if others perhaps choose not to. And choose your purpose in life, but don't be afraid to ask others for their advice along the way as well. All right, so that's about 6 of the instructions. Of course, there are many more, but I thought it'd be a fun, lighthearted way to remind ourselves of some of this ancient wisdom. So until next time, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance. And I hope to see you soon.